It's 2025. Can you stay alive? My friends, this is the year that Deagle had forecast a major drop in population of the United States of America. A huge drop by like 2/3. My friends, could that happen? Well, there are several things that could take us down in population, as much or even more so. The more so falls in the area of loss of power grid. The loss of the power grid could take out, according to the EMP task force that reported to Congress, the Congressional EMP task force about 15 years ago, told us that we would lose 90% of our population inside of a year due to societal collapse. A lot of it would be disease and such stuff, because without power, you're not going to have water pumped, you're not going to have water purification, you're not going to have your sewage removed, you're not going to have fuel. All these niceties that we're so accustomed to in our society will be gone. So what's going to happen, my friends? Can that happen? Can we lose our power grid? Yes, absolutely. We're on the verge of war. We're just this close to war with a couple of different countries of note, of interest, one being China and one being Iran. The current president seems to have a hard sticking point with Iran, and so things could happen. Now, Iran, I just some podunk little country, what can they do to us? Well, I don't know, some of you guys have probably heard me talk for years about that on here, and that was a discussion which came out that the report was published by the National Electric Reliability Corporation, I believe I think it was March or April of 2014, saying that if you took out just 9 critical substations in the United States, that the whole nation's power grid would fail. This report was rushed to the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and he dismissed it. He says, I got sleeper cells in America. I've already got 20 of them targeted. Now, guys, this was over 10 years ago that they were saying they already had 20 sleeper cells in America targeted. But we've not had any immigration that would permit any more sleeper cell members to come in this nation, have we? Oh, no, not at all. Certainly not, right? So, yeah, Iran is a force to be considered when you talk about asymmetric warfare, when you talk about events like what I'm talking about here, because as you know, the next war is not going to be conventional war like we're used to seeing, and everything's overseas, and it's all troops in the field. The next war is going to be vastly different. It's going to impact us in ways that we don't even want to imagine. So we tend to forget these things. We tend not to talk about them. We tend not to emphasize them. But this is why we need to be concerned about it. Where are we going to go with this? What's going to happen to us? My friends, this is no joke. And furthermore, the grid's not coming back on in a day like a lot of your TV shows or what we're used to, failures that are easily repaired. If you take out these giant transformers that weigh 200 to 400 tons a piece, and we only got, maybe less than a dozen rail cars and truck platforms that can move these giant beasts, they're big as a house. It takes 18 months to get them on the, well, it used to take 18 months to get them on your loading dock after you order them. Now it's more like maybe up to 3 years. Problem is, by then most of your people are gone. Who's going to install them? If you're losing 90% of your population, who's going to be left to do it? How are you going to do it? How are you going to order them when the grid's down and you can't even order stuff? Everything's ordered through the internet now, right? Is that raven? Sound a lot like a crow, except it sounds like a horse crow. Anyway, guys, I think the ravens agreeing with me, talking about how many people we would lose. The ravens used to follow the Norse warriors through the fields because they knew sooner or later there was going to be bodies and something to eat when they were marching, when the armies were marching. They knew the feast was soon to come. So maybe that's why Odin had Hundingen and Hugin and Munin, the 2 ravens that were his consorts. But anyway, so back to the story at hand here. Oh yeah, I'm walking through what passes for my forest here. I used to always do videos of my woods in Alabama. Well, these are my woods here. So, guys, juniper bushes. You call them trees around here, but anyway. So, my friends, China has apparently we discovered the devices in the power components they send us. Especially, they also now have become the primary source for our large transformers I was talking about. And apparently they put little black boxes in them that reportedly have cell phone technology in them that could possibly just shut them down. Or maybe, worse yet, cause them to burn out. Right kind of failures, you could burn them out. And other components also in the grid, including other large transformers, because the loads would be getting switched from one set of transformers to another. And if done in the wrong kind of manner, you can be burning out lots and lots and lots of transformers. Hundreds, thousands. It would take, like I said, 10 years if everything was working. Of course, with the grid down, things aren't working. Frankly, with the grid down, loss of population, you don't have any money when the grid's down, guys, because all the money's digital these days. How are you going to order this stuff? All it means for requisition, everything today, not just paper anymore. It's all electronic. It's all gone. The grid down, all that. It would be like Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall. I don't know how we're ever going to put it back together again. Some people say, oh, we'll be back like in the 1800s. No, in the 1800s, you had industry. You had steel industry. You had locomotives being built, all built for a technology that worked for the time at that time. We're talking about a time and an era you're not going to have that kind of stuff. We're talking about a time and era where you'd be lucky to crawl back up to the 1800s. We're probably talking more like the 1400s or 1500s. That's where you're going to be. It's going to be rough. It's going to be crude. So you need to be ready. You need to be prepared. That's all I got to say. That's Freddy Cat. When I used to do my walk through the woods in Alabama, he followed me then too. Hey, baby. So that's Freddy Cat. He's the two I used to have. So he follows me here now. So my friends, so China could take out our grid, and so could, we believe North Korea has actually practiced doing that, because a lot of sources think that the attack on the Metcalf station in April 16th of 2013 was probably Korean. We can't prove it. But on that same day that happens, when their satellite went over Washington, D.C. for the first time, it's also when they had the Chong Chong Gang tramp steamer running around the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean with two fully erect missiles and missile launchers sitting in ISO shipping containers. And we found them later in the cargo hold of that ship when it tried to leave and go back to the Pacific. My friend going through the Panama Canal, the storms are too rough to get around the Horn down there at the southern tip of Argentina and Chile. So, guys, I worry about the grid. I worry about the grid imminently, because we have a cold snap coming to America, and this is what you need to be concerned with immediately for 2025. This cold snap is the first challenge you may have in the east. Record cold. Remember the record cold snap that hit Houston back in a couple of years ago? They came within, they said, milliseconds of having their grid fried, permanently lost. They just barely managed to get things shut down properly. So our grid's at risk. Can you imagine not having power in a record cold snap? How many people require that heat? Or from electric heaters, how many require electricity to control their furnaces? Are you going to get water? Or your pipe's going to burst? Drain your pipes, folks. If this happens, open up those taps outside and let all the water drain out. You better go to your hot water heater under the house, wherever it is, and drain it too. Because broken pipes is going to cause a huge mess as soon as everything thaws out again. And your house will be in a catastrophe that you don't want anything to do with. So that's one of the things I urge you to do. Check all that out. I got the sun behind me. I don't want that. So other threats. Well, it's just the threat of war. A war, like I said, in 2025 is not going to look like a war back in 1945. It's going to look much, much different. We can expect to see it right here at home. We can expect to see mayhem right here, because we got sleeper cells. Our borders have been wide open. We've got a lot to be concerned about with our critical infrastructure, even without the grid going down. A lot of things could take us out, my friends. A lot of things can make your life miserable if you're not prepared for it. Now here's another thing that we'll talk about. Suddenly, all at once, the media is getting, oh yeah, and media's, what kind of commercials does the media run a lot? Media's on medicinals, big pharma advertisements. Oh yeah, a lot of that stuff in the media, not news media especially. That's how they earn their living. So you think they might be friendly to the messages that side of the world is trying to put out, foist upon us? The scare of all new bugs spreading around, all new subversities upon us, things that might give them an excuse to shut things down. Yeah, these are things you got to be concerned about too. My friends, they're talking. Boyd, yeah, birdie, the birdie bug. Oh, that's a good way to put that. I gotta be careful here. The birdie bug. The birdie bug, they're saying might get us. Check this out. The birdie bug. I'm worried about that. I'm here to tell you that, yeah, it's real bad for cats, birds. 70% of the dairy cattle are now expected to have this thing. Well, why are they feeding dairy cattle chicken poop? That's a question I got to ask. Why are they feeding chicken poop to dairy cows? There's probably a lot of it in our beef cattle. Now, apparently, you don't get it from drinking milk or from eating cheese or beef. As if you cook it, you're probably good. But you can get it if you maybe. There's been a few, like 65 cases amongst the thousands and thousands of people that handle poultry and cattle. That's not a lot of cases. There's no yet recorded natural human-to-human transmissible bug out there. Well, they keep talking like it might mutate into something that might do that, and it might. But the fatality rate on the latest cases has been pretty low. The fatality rates were like 50% earlier in this fiasco. But most people that get it now, the 65 cases we had in America, none of them been serious except for one. And that was a man over 65 who had a lot of other ailments. He had a lot of medical conditions. And apparently he's still alive, so he's recovering. The other folks, a lot of them don't even have symptoms, hardly. It's very mild. So let's hope if it gets in the human population, it'll be that way. But I think I've reported in the past that there are lab-made versions of this, where they tested and developed versions that could be human transmissible. And this occurred in 2 other international labs, one in Indonesia and one in Europe. Why they have to do that? This is gain-of-function research. That's got to stop. That's nonsense. They got to stop this and stop playing around with things like mirror life, which is, if it gets loose, could wipe out all life on Earth. What they're producing in the labs is insane, guys. Just absolutely off the charts. Well, so bear in mind, there's this one guy that came on MSNBC, and he talked about how a whole raft of things were going to hit us starting the 21st of January. Now, you can't predict outbreaks. At least natural outbreaks. You can't predict them within a year, within a 4-year, 5-year, 10-year period. They're so random. You can put a day on it, a specific day? Well, what is the 21st of January of this year? Oh, that's the day that a certain man has his first full day in office, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, they don't like Orange Man. Oh, wow. So how did he tie that to that date? Does that suggest, I ask you, my friends, does that suggest a political agenda? Does this also suggest a threat in order to keep him and all his supporters tied up? So, my friends, we got to worry about bugs. There may be some real bugs come out. That happens from time to time, but it's not something you can predict and put a date on or a year on. Or like, oh, it's going to happen within your administration. Random stuff out of nature don't work that way. So you tell me what you think is going on here. So we got to worry about our grid. We got to worry about power from that loss of power. We got to worry about war. China is really arming up, and they have just told the United States to get your missiles out of the Philippines. It's a threat to regional stability, like them ramming boats and claiming regions of another country's exclusive economic zone is not a threat to stability and peace. Give me a break. I'm gonna go live probably in a night or two and talk about why China is already at war with us using the Sun Tzu principles. We're just too stupid to realize it here in this country. So World War III is raging. We haven't recognized it yet. It just hasn't come to our consciousness. So guys, you really need to get prepared. You need to get ready. That's why I'm out here in the middle of the desert where there's very few people. Yeah, I got some neighbors across the wash over on the other side over there. But by and large, people are spread out far apart around here. And most people are homesteaders and preppers. One of the best prepping things you can do is to grow your own food. Grow a garden, be a farmer, be a homesteader, a homestead type farmer specifically. So, you're not just growing soybeans. If all you're growing is soybeans or field corn, you're probably not going to eat much. And if all you're growing is cattle, you better figure poachers are going from the city going to come take them out pretty darn quick. So you better have a way to protect your herd. It's the two-legged predators you're going to have to worry about the most when the grid goes down. And oh yeah, they won't be just looking to eat your livestock. They're going to be looking for the long pork, you. So this is why you've got to really be prepared. You need to keep your nugs handy. You know what a nug is? Take that word and go doop. And the best way to keep your nugs in good shape is they got to be fed and groomed just like any pet. So make sure you give them some kibble from time to time. It keeps them warm. So at least for a little bit. So just run some kibbles through your nugs. All right, my friends. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So I highly encourage you to start getting yourself ready. 2025 is going to be a year of great opportunity because we're getting a huge change in administration. This time, they're changing not only the head man, but these department leads are being picked for guys who are going to shake the tree, shake it hard. Now, you can bet that all the long lifers, denizens, and the halls of D.C. and government are somewhat less than totally pleased with this. In fact, their jobs, their livelihoods, their empires are at risk. And they have done a lot of drastic things to people for less threat than this. So I expect we may be facing a civil war, possibly. Or it may not look like the other one, but a lot of strife. Because they're going to try everything they can to prevent their loss of their little empire. What we call the state of great depth. Yeah, I'm just trying to talk a little code here. The Navajo. This is Navajo County. What are Navajo famous for? Code talkers. Yeah, I'm in Navajo County. Where the code talkers were. Well, I don't know if they all came out of Navajo County, but they came out of that Navajo tribe. Anyway, guys, so yeah, they couldn't break that code. Couldn't understand it. Yeah, it was encrypted, but also it was a different language that they weren't prepared for. So that was a brilliant move on the side of our military back in World War II. Well, everything we got today is hacked. China has hacked everything. They've hacked our cell phones. 9 major cell phone companies have been hacked by China. They've hacked our defense systems. Guys, it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty if it goes down. So you gotta hope and pray that don't happen. Just hope and pray. But prep and pray. You better prep for the worst day, but pray for the best. So, my friends, there's plenty to be concerned about this year. Will our population be taken down? Can you survive in 2025? If you're a prepper, especially if you're a homesteader, your chances are a lot better. I know everybody can't afford a homestead, but you know, you can homestead almost inside your house if you know how to do it. I did videos on growing food in your house way back when I started this channel. I did. I grew microgreens and other stuff. So you can do that too. You can grow stuff outside. I know a lot of you don't have a lot of money. You can go to the just go to the grocery store and buy an extra can of beans if you have to. Buy an extra pack of meat. Get something though that will last. Get stuff that's good for long term. But you can just a little bit of time. Go to Walmart and buy that water filter. That's probably the most important thing you can do. Get that water filter. Because water is going to be the most precious thing. So do that. But my friends, yeah, everybody can't move out. I'm living in my bug out location now. I'm bugged out. I have bugged out. That is now my case. So if you can do that, it's time to think about it. I'm hoping that things will be a lot better with the new administration. But I realize that China thinks they're so far ahead of our military. They're so far ahead of our army now in munitions and strike capabilities and being able to take our systems down. I think they can take us on. Right now, whoever's president, I think to them, they think it don't even matter. They think it matters not. There's an interesting rock. They don't care. So we're not out of the woods, guys. I think we're in a better spot than we were in, but we're not out of the woods. So to keep that, well, I'm out of the tall woods, but the locals call this wooded. This is actually a semi-arid climate here where I'm at. They call it wooded. When you got these big juniper bushes, trees, whatever they want to call them, this is referred to as wooded. So my friends, you be prepared. Don't be scared. Be prepared. But don't malinger anymore. You need to get ready. You need to get ready fast. A lot of stuff could go down before the inauguration ceremony, because they really would prefer to find some way to stop that if they could. They don't want the inauguration to take place. And when you know that, then you know you better be serious. Unless nothing happened over Christmas, thank God. And maybe they can't stop the inauguration because they're planning what to do afterwards. Like the guy who announced that we had a whole boatload of stuff coming at us after the 21st of January. Now, how did he come up with that? You tell me. All right, my friends. I'm going to say this. In times of uncertainty, precious metals are a good stability. You might want to check out defythegrid.com and use the coupon code GreenGregs, and you will get 1% off of any purchase there. It's thought that silver is really going to go up. They sell silver, gold, platinum, bullion, rounds, coins, and goldbacks. And they got silverback too. So check that out. And also check out, might be a good time to check out My Patriot Supply. But don't go to that website. Go to prepwithgreg.com. If you go to prepwithgreg.com, that's an affiliate link. It's not, necessarily the most expensive, luxurious of your long-term food, but it's definitely far more affordable than a lot of the others. And a lot of you guys are pinched on the dollar, so that would help you out. Now, none of it's cheap, but it's when you look at it for price for meals, what you would eat otherwise, yeah, it's actually cheaper. All right, my friends, thank y'all for watching. And with that, I'm going to say Happy New Year. I hope and pray that we actually have a great New Year as possible. Hope for the best, pray for the worst, prep for the worst. With that, I'll say thank you again for watching. Greg out.